You've tuned in to the Crispy Noodle Podcast
You realize what you've done?
with Rich Liebig
The real gangster plays his cards, right?
and Michael Costanzo.
What was that you just read?
Let us be the crispy noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news.
Good times, noodle salad.
The point is, you now have the ability to be happy.
And now, here's Rich and Mike on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Woo! Yeah! How you guys doing?
What's up, everybody?
It's time for this week's episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the crispy noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news, folks. It's our job to give you the most interesting tidbits in world sports, entertainment, odd news, whatever else we happen to stumble across. Isn't that right, Mike?
That's right. We bring it to you with our unique sense of humor and wackiness. You never know what you're going to get here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
That's right. We have a couple topics prepared for you in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news. But, you know, it's an hour-long podcast. Sometimes we'll go off the beaten path. We'll have some fun. You know, join us, won't you, for this meal for your mind. You never know what you're going to get here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us on another crazy episode. We've got a lot of sports news and a couple of headlines and entertainment and odd news to get to. But before we do that, Mikey, my friend, how you doing?
Good. I went to the Home and Garden Show in Oaks. The Home and Garden Show in Oaks. I think that's what it's called.
Yes.
The Home and Garden Show in Oaks.
Right.
How
was that?
It was a lot more roofing vendors than I anticipated.
You literally scared me for a second. I thought you said I roofied someone.
Well, that was after the Home and Garden Show.
Whoa, Mike.
No.
This is supposed to be a friendly podcast here.
It's a family-friendly podcast. No, so I thought
take your perverted mind out of the Crispy Noodle headquarters.
I know I gotta work on that. No, so it was a lot more like window and siding and roofing vendors, and I thought it was gonna be more like
garden.
I thought it was gonna be more like I don't know what I was expecting, like a Morris Arboretum type deal inside the Oaks Convention Center. It was more like just like wander around and look at prefabricated like kitchens and bathrooms. I was like, okay, I was like, I can dig some of these cabinets. I like a good cabinet.
One day when you get a house.
Yeah, one day when that's what I was doing. I was going through and I'm like, I want this cabinet. I want this cabinet. You know what I don't like is fridges that are hidden inside of cabinets.
Yes.
Because I want to be able to put magnets on the fridge.
That is weird. It's funny you mentioned that, actually.
You can't have a water thing. You can't have magnets. You can't have nothing.
There's a YouTube channel, Enes, and I forget his last name. His name is Enes, E-N-E-S. All you got to do is search E-N-E-S and then, expensive homes.
Okay.
And he has a channel where he walks around, the most expensive real estate properties that you can buy.
Right. They all disguise their fridges.
And yes, every single kitchen, that's the prominent features to hide the fridge.
I don't understand. People are like, we have to hide our appliances. Why? What? Everybody, what, you think other people don't have fridges? You have to hide it? I don't understand. Why?
Ew, you're one of those people that leave out your
keep your refrigerator visible? I'd never. They're clutching their pearls. Their monocle pops out. I don't. So, yeah, Jordan and I were walking around. We were like, oh, this sink
That is
sucks.
a thing. That is funny that out of everything you picked out, you're absolutely right. That is a thing.
There was also this one kitchen we saw that they hid their dishwasher in a cabinet, which I thought was odd. I go to open this thing, and the whole thing comes apart, and it turns into a dishwasher. I'm like, what the heck?
Yep, that's a thing.
But you know what I did see that are really nice is alongside stoves, they have these vertical drawers that you can open that pull out. And they have a spice rack built into it, at waist height. If you imagine, like slender vertical drawers that you can pull out next to the stove. I'm like, that's really convenient. That's super convenient. So I did a lot of that. I also planted my own succulent. I bought some wine and I bought some salsa. So all in all, decent trip.
There was your garden.
Yeah, that was my garden.
Home and garden.
Succulents and salsa.
Did you ever see the thing in the corner? You probably didn't see this.
Is it a Lazy Susan in the corner cabinet?
No, it's it's like a tray that moves into that corner.
Yeah.
So that when you actually get to pull that out, it's actually two things that come out of the one.
I think
I'm
I know.
not even describing
No, I think
right.
I know what you're talking about. It's like so corner cabinets are tough because there's a lot of unused space.
Right. So what they
Right.
did was they put a tray behind a tray. So
Right.
you pull like 2 trays out.
Interesting.
Yeah, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I think I saw something similar to that. I also saw one where instead of the door opening, you just push it and it spins and it reveals a lazy Susan that goes into the corner,
Okay.
which I thought was really nice.
All right, I
I
can see
saw
that.
there's so many interesting cabinets out there. Like I didn't realize how many different kinds of cabinets there were.
There you go. That's what happens when you become a homeowner.
So now, I mean, I know that there's different types of cabinets, but there's so many that I need. That's all I took away from that home and garden show. There was like so many cabinets. My parents' cabinets and my cabinets in the apartment, they're not good. They're not versatile.
Not good enough.
They're not good enough. No. There needs to be more things that pull out. There needs to be more. They had another cabinet that pulled out and it had utensils.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
Yes, you need more tearing.
More tearing, yes.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
But I don't know how that one fits, but okay.
Because you're ripping out the cabinets.
I'm ripping out the cabinets.
There you go. That's what you're doing.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
That's what I'm going to do to the kitchen. That's what the kitchen's going to say. But
There you
that's what I was up to. I went to the home and garden show. It was fun. It was enjoyable. What were you up to this past weekend?
So it's funny. We were trying to get together because you were going to be in Oaks.
Yeah.
But something else came up that I had to go check out over at the Colonial Theater. They had every Sunday apparently they do like kind of a classic movie matinee.
Oh, nice.
And the one for this week was Casablanca,
Okay.
which is my mom's favorite movie.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So-
Did you two go to see? Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
so I took her out and she could.
You hit the town.
That's her favorite movie, so it was perfect that like they had the whole And
Yeah.
it was actually packed. By the way,
I seem
Y-
like
you
that's.
would-
I feel like that's something that people would be interested in. is
yeah, like you would think for it being a movie that you can pretty much either get like a $2 DVD of or.
But you see, that theater there seems like the type of theater that like cinema fans would go and see. You know what I mean?
You had such disdain for that.
Cinema. No.
Cinema.
No, I mean Ambler's got one too. They got one of those
Yeah.
cinemas. You
That's
know?
right. You can't.
Yeah.
You don't have any room to talk.
No, I'd be one of those cinema. I'd want to go see like those movies in a little theater.
Would you
like
Would
that.
you go see like Citizen Kane in it or something?
I'd go see Citizen Kane. It's funny
Are
you
you
brought that
sure?
up. Are you going to play Paul Masson?
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
Yes. Watch the master at work.
You know what's funny? I literally just showed that clip to my girlfriend today. She had never seen it before. It's amazing.
Yes, of course.
It's amazing.
Ah, the French champagne.
Orson Welles is spilling into genres into
You're gonna be
Quentin
okay.
Tarantino.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
Wow.
That's what they said. That's what they said behind the scenes. You're going to be okay. Just stop. You have to do a spit take every time you take a sip.
Harvey Keitel is trying to coach Orson Welles on that Paul Masson commercial.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
There you go.
Weird side tangent. The best part of that clip, that obviously doesn't come across in the audio because it'd be too long and awkward, is the absolute silence after the director calls action.
Oh, the very first.
The very first one, he just sits there and stares at the
All right.
camera, and then he goes,
Well,
"Is he supposed to do something?"
So just to clarify, if you don't know what we're talking about,
Yeah, you got to
Ors-
back up. Yeah,
if you haven't seen this, folks, you got to just Google Orson Welles Paul Masson, and you will see the original take where Orson Welles shows up to a Paul Masson commercial shoot.
looks like he'd been drinking Paul Masson before the
Yes,
shoot.
he had imbibed some free samples.
He had to know what he was promoting.
Right. I mean, he's actually doing his job.
Right, exactly.
And he is 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh, he is gone.
He's gone. And he's just like drunk, fat, just like out of
He's
his
just
mind.
like stereotypical slob. He's like sitting there. He's like, you know.
So they show you in this clip, they show you the 3 original takes. The first take is the one Mikey's referring to. He doesn't even realize that he's supposed to start the scene. So there's just awkward
He
silence.
just does not react. The director's like, action. He just sits there.
Action, Orson.
And then he
Action.
turns to the other guy and goes, is he supposed to do something?
Yeah. And then number 2 is the clip.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
And then this is number 3.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
Yeah.
So,
and
yeah.
After the third take, they're like, "No, we can't do this today."
You guys have
This
to
isn't
go.
happening.
You have to look up Orson Welles' Paul Masson commercial. I mean, you just do yourselves a favor, Google it, watch the video. It's like a minute long.
The
there you
master
go.
himself.
A little audio clip history lesson.
Yeah, in
for-
case
for
you didn't know where
everybody.
that was
Yeah,
from.
So
But yeah, enjoy that. Make sure you oh, it's so good. I love every second of that. Just
it's brilliant.
yeah.
it's
I mean,
brilliant.
like Orson Welles, he made Citizen Kane. He's old. He's fat. He doesn't care.
You know, I was explaining it to Jordan. I was like, this man is widely regarded as one of the best filmmakers, one of the best auteurs, cinema auteurs of all time.
Yeah.
Auteurs. And
and he's shilling Paul Masson drunk.
yeah, and I'm like, he hits rock bottom so hard that he's showing up to commercial shoots drunk off his ass. Like, what a 180.
Yes.
So
maybe those are the kind of films you get to see at
Yeah.
the Colonial on Sunday matinees
The
that I was
cinema.
trying to get to. Because
So you're gonna they have one every Sunday then?
yeah, just about, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So
that's really
You know,
cool.
see what else is coming up the pike and maybe do another one. But
Yeah.
I had to do Casablanca because that's my mom's favorite movie. She loves.
Yeah.
She has a big. I don't know if you noticed it in the kitchen. She's got a big Casablanca poster.
Yeah.
Framed and
And that's perfect timing that they had that movie showing.
yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what I was up to this weekend.
Classic cinema.
Classic
Perfect.
cinema. Yeah. All you got. Come on, Colonial. You guys got to do an Orson Welles feature soon.
Ah, the French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence.
All right. How about now with that out of the way, let's get to the segment where we have a couple sports topics. And, oh, yeah, we got a lot of sports news to cover. So let's launch into it. The Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports.
In your face. Sports are going to be coming at you, or not, in a little bit, because we're going to get to baseball in just a minute. But I'll pease Mike. We'll pease him with some football news in the 2-minute drill. What do you have, Mike?
Well, as Rich alluded to, we're talking a little bit football news here in the 2-minute drill. The quarterback carousel rumors and controversy part of the offseason is kicking into full swing. There's been a whole bunch of weird headlines. For instance, Miami reportedly is trying to sway Tom Brady out of retirement because they've just given up.
Also, Sean Payton out of retirement.
And
That was
Sean
weird.
Payton as well. I mean, it just reeks of desperation out of Miami.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Packers are willing to blow up the entire team to keep Aaron Rodgers, trying to make him the highest paid player in NFL history. They're already, $25 million over the cap or something?
They were at 50, and they've already made moves to get down to $25 million.
Apparently, I don't understand how money works. You can
I
be
don't either.
$50 million over, and now they're going to assign him to become the highest paid
Yeah.
player in history. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Falcons are going to do the same with Matt Ryan, though, going as far as to trade one of their star players
Calvin Ridley is rumored to be on the trade block, which blows my mind.
in order to make this happen with Matt Ryan.
That blows my mind. And if that's the case, the Eagles should be calling.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you imagine if this is Devonta Smith and Calvin Ridley on the other side of the foot? That is some fireworks.
There needs to be some phone calls. Other teams receiving phone calls, perhaps the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. Odd that both these quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray, in the same division, venting on social media, pulling off references to teams and saying they just want
this
long-term contracts. I can't
weird
stand this.
social media drama.
Oh my God, it's so dramatic. And then on the opposite side of things, you have teams that are kind of throwing shade at their players, with the Indianapolis Colts being very non-committal toward supporting Carson Wentz. Basically, I think.
Tell me, does this sound supportive of your quarterback? Quote, I don't have a direct answer for you about Wentz. We're working through it. Ultimately, we'll do what's best for the Colts. No.
Yikes.
No. Get out of here. There you go.
That's like worse than non-committal. That's basically saying we're going to cut this dude.
That is
the biggest
worst-
non-answer I've ever heard.
That is the worst. Like, I can't imagine Carson Wentz, what he must be feeling.
He's done. We've talked about it before. He's done. He's done, right?
That is nuts. I can't believe that is what the GM said about Carson Wentz.
That is
his
horrific.
situation.
that is like, I don't know if he's just bad at public speaking or if they're like really literally about to cut or trade this guy. But that statement was,
Ooh,
like
ouch.
that was like negative support for your quarterback.
Yeah.
You know.
If this was a telltale game, that would be one of those situations that would come up in the corner. Carson Wentz will remember this.
Yes.
You know?
Where are those memes? Those memes got to make a comeback.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There
Carson
you
Wentz
go.
will remember this.
Yeah, because that was horrible. So there
Yeah.
you go.
Woof.
All of the crazy football news that is happening, and I'm sure we'll have more in the upcoming weeks of the non-playing season of the NFL.
Oh, I hate that.
Not the off season. It's
The
not,
non-playing
It's
season.
not called the off season. It's called the non-playing season.
Sorry, I said the off season.
Yeah, sorry, Mike.
Whoops.
The NFL police are going to come get you.
Well, you know who else is in a non-playing season right now?
Oh,
How do you like?
yeah.
How do you like that one?
Folks, man, it has happened.
It's time to talk baseball.
I can't believe this is a thing. All right, so
You're so upset. Go ahead, Rich.
Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association, they met something to the tune of 3 a.m. Monday night going into Tuesday morning, trying to figure out some compromise, some way to make this work. MLB even tried to push the deadline to March 1st instead of February 28th. But alas, as of 5 p.m. Tuesday, March 1st, Major League Baseball Players Association announced that they did not accept the final proposal for the collective bargaining agreement with Major League Baseball. And therefore, as a result, Major League Baseball has announced that they are, at the minimum, going to cancel the first week of the Major League Baseball regular season of 2022.
You're gonna be okay. Say the goddamn words. You're gonna be okay. Oh God! Say the goddamn words.
Yeah, this is not good. This is a rough pill to swallow, especially if you've been a fan of baseball, since you were a kid like I was. To me, it always seemed like the NFL and Major League Baseball were, I don't know, I felt like they were the top two leagues. I felt like if I was going to be an athlete or something or maybe a news reporter, I would want to cover either of those two leagues. But Major League Baseball has continually shot themselves in the foot. They could not come up with agreements to get around the collective bargaining agreement. They couldn't, for lack of better words, they could not figure out how to divvy up billions of dollars between the franchises and the players and the league. And it has finally come to this, that for the first time since 1994, we're going to have a work stoppage due to the collective bargaining agreement, which is something that could have been figured out, something that could have been prevented, something that did not need to happen. Because we had this discussion, a year and a half ago with COVID.
Yeah.
There was a lot of concerns with baseball because they lost essentially at least 4 or 5 months of that 2020 season, and
Right.
there was a lot of debate as to how you would maintain a regular season, how would players get paid, what would the playoff structure would look like, would a 60-game season even look right? So I kind of give 2020 a little bit of a pass, but between what has happened that year and now with this major misstep on behalf of Major League Baseball, this is quite possibly the worst case scenario for fans of baseball. This I think signifies probably the beginning of the decline of Major League Baseball. Right now, they are no longer anywhere close to the number 2 spot. It's now NFL, NBA, easily as your number 1 and number 2 leagues to follow. Hockey is at least playing a season.
Now,
So I would slot them in as number 3. And then, I don't know, baseball, they're just falling down the ranks.
And soccer is looking to actively jump ahead of them. They said as much.
Right. Soccer and Major League Soccer said we're coming for Major League Baseball. Well, guess what? At least you guys are playing a season.
I mean, right now, just showing up is
winning the battle.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. To baseball fans who might be listening to this and saying, well, Rich, that's a little alarmist. What do you think? What's your response? Because
it may be.
So you're saying it's the start of the decline. Do you really believe that this is the beginning of the end for baseball? I mean, it's so big.
Not the beginning of the end of the Major League Baseball, like as an entity. It will always exist. But in terms of its standing and its legacy, it's just, this is not a good look for baseball, especially when you're coming in an era where you have, the NFL always trying to modernize and trying to figure out new ways to make the sport better. When you have the NBA really gaining popularity in the cities, hockey is at least having
hockey
a
has
season.
Canada.
Yeah, and they're at least playing.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball is shooting themselves in the foot constantly with this over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And it's just getting embarrassing. And, there's a one of my favorite things to do is to go back to wrestling in WWE. And CM Punk in 2011 had the pipe bomb promo where he was allowed to criticize WWE publicly. And in that, he had a statement where he made a jab at Vince McMahon saying that he's a millionaire who should be a billionaire. That's the way I kind of feel about Major League Baseball. This is an organization that is handling billions of dollars, and the thing that they're shooting themselves in the foot on is how they can't divvy this up in a matter in which the owners agree, the players agree, the league agrees, and just everyone is just pushing the nuclear option.
Right.
When you look at the
actual economics of it, I mean, squabbling over billions it's ridiculous.
It's not a good look.
I mean, these owners have more money than God. I mean, billions of dollars floating around in these franchises, and they can't decide, how much they should give to their players. When it's the players who bring in that money, that's the reason why they make those astronomical sums of money. And to circle back to the doomsday scenario, we were texting before the show, and I was thinking to myself, I mean, Rich is a little alarmist, but I thought about it, and I came to the conclusion that baseball is an early 20th century sport that is trying to find its way in the confusing world of the 21st century, and is quickly being outpaced and outmaneuvered.
They are quickly drowning in quicksand of the 21st century.
They have a Titanic-like inability to modernize, to stay agile and flexible, and it's the quote-unquote integrity of the game that's going to kill them.
Yes.
For how long have they said, no, pace of play. Baseball is a sport that you relish, that you savor. No instant replay. It would ruin the integrity of the game. We need to have confusing calls and people complain after every single pitch that gets thrown. This integrity of the game is going to, I think, as a casual bystander, I find it obnoxious and tiring. And eventually it's going to chase away fans, because I thought about popular sports from the past. Thought about specifically boxing, a sport from a different era that failed to modernize, became very niche, and now people are saying like, oh yeah, my granddad used to watch that. Baseball is 140 years old and really hasn't changed all that much.
Nope. And my granddad watched it.
My granddad watched it too.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is that it's happened to other sports. It could happen to baseball too. And I know that also sounds just as alarmist as Rich, but history tends to repeat itself. And if baseball doesn't find a way to modernize and stay relevant, twice now in 3 seasons, we're looking at, a limited baseball season. Casual fans, this is my uncle. He'll watch anything with a sports ball.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying. Well, guess
here's
what?
The thing. If baseball isn't on TV, he's going to soccer. He's going to basketball.
Guess
he's going
what?
to college
March.
basketball.
It's March. It's time for March Madness. Guess what? I'll watch March Madness instead. The NBA is going till June now.
Yeah.
With their playoffs.
So people don't think it can happen, but there's so many options right now that if someone's a casual sports fan, they're just going to watch sports. And if baseball's not there, they're not going to watch it.
Yeah.
And
then
they're
when
going to
then-
be they're going to be happy with whatever else is on.
And then when you're in a position to finally do come back, they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, what took you so long?
What took you so long? Who's still playing? Well, what's the big deal? You're right.
We are also talking.
You need to stay relevant in a world that is constantly moving.
Yes. And you are shooting yourselves in the foot by not even having games. And it just blows my mind that Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball Players Association couldn't come up with a way to figure this out. This is just...
It's so stupid.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling, and it could be the first major crack in the foundation before the house starts to fall apart.
Right. And to be clear, I don't think either of us are saying this is going to happen by 2030. This is a multi-decade process. But by in our
generational
in our lifetime, 2050, 2060, we might see baseball, be the 5th biggest sport. Maybe it's
6, 7.
It
starts to fall down.
Really, those stadiums don't get that full. What does Citizens Bank Park have on a good day? 20,000 maybe. Meanwhile, the Link is packing 70.
Yeah,
and it's just pure numbers. It's just pure numbers.
And just not being able to come up with an agreement is so indicative of the mindset of the way owners view their team and just the mindset of baseball that you can't change. You can't.
I made this point before the show. If you want to be the biggest sport in the country, right or wrong, you play like the NFL. Come hell or high water, COVID or no, they had a season.
Yep.
They had games on Wednesdays and Tuesdays, and teams were
wacky.
Teams were always outbreaking and whatever, but it was business as usual.
Yep.
And again, right or wrong,
the NBA,
right?
Same thing.
Right or wrong, you find a way to play the season.
Even though the championship was like Christmas or something. Do you remember that? The
NBA
it was something,
that year. Something wacky, yeah.
They did it too.
Yeah.
You find a way.
And baseball, 2 out of the 3 past years. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. In our lifetime, it's happened, 3 times now that they've had to cancel parts of the season?
Yep, if you count the COVID, yep.
How many times has football done that?
None.
There you go, folks. One of them is the biggest sport in the country. One of them is not.
And one of them is falling out of reverence fast.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So this is a dark time for baseball fans. It's I kind of view this as like this is what I do when there's no football.
You watch something else.
This is how I kind of get through the non-playing season of the NFL.
Non-playing season, yeah.
It's baseball. So it's very demoralizing here.
Yeah.
That baseball could not put it together and come out with something, at least something, just something to appease the Players Association, something to ensure that there would be a season.
Right, anything.
Yeah. So not a good time to be a baseball fan.
But I think you did have some other baseball news.
Yes, I did. So look, I need to find some sort of brevity, some sort of light in the dark here.
Right.
So I decided to watch a couple of my consistent news feeds, and one of them's the Rich Eisen show. And they had a toss-up question that on the surface was, I don't know, I kind of thought was, why are they asking this question? And then kind of dug deeper, and it was more meat to the question than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Their original question was between Derek Jeter and A-Rod, who is having the worst retirement? And I was like, that's a weird question to ask. I mean, both of these guys are, baseball legends. Or Derek Jeter's a Yankee legend. He's going to go in he's already Hall of Famer, everything like that. A-Rod, he does have some question marks with the steroid scandal, so he probably won't get in the Hall of Fame, but he's still, a relatively big celebrity.
Yeah.
He has a gig, well, not right now, but he has a gig whenever baseball comes back to do Sunday Night Baseball. So I'm like, oh, these guys seem like they're doing fine. But then the story came out that Derek Jeter, who had a interest as the CEO of the Miami Marlins and a 4% stake in the company, announced that he was going to sell off his share and leave the Miami Marlins organization in a little bit of kind of a shame, little bit in shame here, because under his command, the Marlins only went 218 and 327. And that also includes the shortened 2020 season.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's not really a good record when you put it all together.
No.
So, that does sound pretty, horrible. And, you know what, maybe you should, go off into the sunset and don't have any more baseball activities. But then, they went to the other side of the coin with A-Rod. And, A-Rod, we all know, unfortunately, did not get to woo the love of his life into a locked, committed relationship with J-Lo. J-Lo ended up breaking up with him.
Yeah.
And I kind of fell down this rabbit hole, and then I found this story.
Okay.
This food story.
Okay. All this leads to food?
Yes. Which
I was waiting for that because before the show, you're like, I got a food story. And I'm like, what in the hell does any of this have to do with food?
Right. So right before their breakup in 2019, before COVID, A-Rod was doing a broadcast of Sunday Night Baseball, and it happened to be his birthday.
Okay.
So there you go. Happy birthday. You're on the air. You're broadcasting the game, all that fun stuff. And Jennifer Lopez was going to come up and surprise him for his birthday.
Okay.
And I just, happened to just be doing some research. And I noticed, I saw the cake. So if you're watching the video feed, here is the cake. I would like to point out that Jennifer Lopez is a platinum-selling artist who's worth millions upon millions of dollars. And A-Rod is a once-in-a-lifetime elite Major League Baseball player who also has millions and millions of dollars. And together, they come up with this...
Oh, my God.
Sad, pathetic,
that is
little
the
dinky cake.
Hold on. For the non-video viewers, go to your local Acme.
Yes.
Go buy a vanilla cake. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. Also, don't put his name
on
the cake. What in the actual hell?
Number 2. Yes, his name is not on the cake.
So a major celebrity shows up to a broadcast.
Yes.
With a, Hall of Fame caliber former sports icon and shows up with an Acme cake that has, one, no decoration on it.
Yes, there's no decoration.
This is a stock sheet cake from Acme. 2, has no name on it.
No.
It just says, happy birthday. Not even an exclamation point. Just, it's like The Office. It is your birthday.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Actually,
on the
that
cake.
would have been way better.
That would have been better on the cake than just happy birthday.
Oh, my God. Now I know why they broke up.
It's about to get all stupid up in here.
You're absolutely right.
That
to
is
me,
absolutely why they broke up.
That is the first sign wow.
Did she even know his name?
Yes.
She goes to the Acme and they're like, do you want to customize? She's like, yeah, his name is Happy Birthday.
I call him A-Rod, but I don't know his first name.
Oh my God, he looks thrilled, doesn't he? For video viewers, he looks like wow. Thanks, honey.
Yeah, his face is trying to mask so much disappointment in this cake.
You know those memes where it's like, watch the soul leave this person's body? Right there.
Yes.
That is somebody who's like, I can't believe this is happening to me live on the air. I have to pretend to be excited about this stodgy. She picked up that cake moments before going live.
Yes.
Like she was like, oh crap. She like pulled into the closest Giant or Acme or I don't know, wherever they happen to be, whatever grocery stores around the
Publix, something.
You couldn't even splurge for Whole Foods or Wegmans.
Come on.
Like, my God.
And then, as a further follow-up to this, I saw a tweet from Pete Abraham that night, who was actually behind the scenes. He's a baseball writer for the Boston Globe. And he noted that cake was so kind of dismayed that nobody in the broadcast booth actually ate it.
Wow.
J-Lo didn't eat it. A-Rod didn't eat it. His co-host didn't eat it. None of the audio engineers ate it.
That's
none of the
so
cameramen.
sad.
Right?
This went from the most ridiculous to the saddest thing I've ever heard. They just threw that entire cake in the trash, didn't they?
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories
Rich
that
is
take
trying to
place.
end the video.
That's how bad.
Video viewers just got a fun little clip
Whoops.
there, I think.
That's how bad this cake was. It almost caused the end of our podcast this week.
This is so sad. This cake is pathetic. Guys, I swear to God, it looks like an Acme cake. You know, you get the Acme cake and it's blank on the top, and you're supposed to buy it and tell them what to write on it. They didn't even put the name. They just put happy birthday,
Yes.
guys. Just happy birthday.
No name, no A-Rod, no baseball, no... Come on, put a baseball on there. Put a little
something,
bat.
anything. Hold on, you're right. J-Lo and A-Rod, they make millions and millions of dollars. You don't have a baker on staff?
You don't
have
anybody?
a professional chef? You don't have nothing? You don't have ins in any sort of cake or confectionery business? Man, yeah. You get the writing. I would say the writing is on the wall, but the writing was on the cake.
The
and
writing is on the cake. Yes.
that was doomed from the start.
So I had to bring that story to your
Oh,
attention.
I love that. That was great.
When I found out about
That
this.
story was tastier than the cake.
Yes, it probably was. But so anyway, who's having the worst retirement? Is it A-Rod or
A-Rod.
Derek Jeter?
A-Rod has how many birthdays were they together that he just received an emotionless blank slate of a cake?
Yeah, there you go.
I know that's not all relationships are, but damn.
You're lucky to be with me. Here you go.
Yeah,
Take
you're
this.
lucky. Here's your Acme sheet cake. He's like, damn, I could have done that. You know? Like, bro.
Yeah. So that was too good of a story for me to just pass up. I had to tell you
amazing.
that story with the visuals, and it almost caused the end of the show for some reason. So
The show was like, we feel bad for A-Rod.
the crispy noodle, the entity of itself, was about to close down the show because it couldn't handle any more sadness.
OBS was like, nah, we're done here.
Yes, the actual software.
The actual software was like, nah, we're done.
We're done. Bye-bye. we had a good run. That's the end of the show.
Oh, God.
Jack Nicholson just popped up.
like,
Hi,
"All right, we're
bye-bye.
done."
Everyone go home.
Oh, my God. Poor A-Rod.
Yeah,
That was
so
that was quite the tale, but well worth it, I think, for that image.
good. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not the only one that, I was like, I have to tell somebody about this. This is the most weird and pathetic birthday cake I've ever seen.
What do you do all day? You just research. How long did it take you to get to that single image of a cake, Rich?
I don't know. It just happened. This is what I do.
Because you started that by talking about Rich Eisen posting that question, and then somehow you made it to a picture of cake.
This is what I do in my life. I don't know.
That is brilliant.
I fell from one thing into the next.
It's
and
the internet. The internet is just a very deep rabbit hole.
There you go, and that's what I came up with. So
Oh my God, that was amazing.
there you go. All right, with that, we gotta at least take a break. I can't handle this. Don't worry, we're gonna be taking a break. We're not leaving the show yet.
No.
We still have the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news. So don't pay attention to Jack Nicholson or the pathetic birthday cake. We'll be right back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 in the morning, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
Yes, already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on?
I don't know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh, my God.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then Amazon can determine what medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder. I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Ooh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Hopefully you had a much better dessert than A-Rod had in that last segment.
I mean, you can't get much worse.
Yeah, right? It doesn't really... the bar can't be set lower, right?
Right.
Than just going to Acme or one of those spots.
I mean, even on your worst day, you just pick up a plain sheet cake from Acme, and already you've met that level.
Yep, there you go. All right, so let's leave the pathetic sports world behind, and instead, let's get to some more entertaining news with the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, and to kick off the entertainment entree, we're going to give you the segment where Mike is going to let you know what's coming up this weekend with movies, TV, and video games with Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got?
All right, well, first up, Rich, I think you'll be very interested in this one. The Batman.
The Batman.
That's right, The Batman.
Not just Batman.
Not just Batman or a Batman, but The Batman.
The Batman.
Comes to theaters this week. This marks, I think, the third Batman in 15 years, kind of following the same Spider-Man trend there.
A lot of Batman.
A lot of Batman. But this movie is a little bit different. It follows a second-year Batman, just a second year on the job. He must investigate the serial killer known as the Riddler. This film is more of a crime thriller, sometimes bordering on a psychological thriller, than an actual action movie.
I heard it's more horror.
Yeah, I'm reading a lot of interesting things, that it's not just a typical superhero beat-em-up action film, which I think really works in Batman's case, and it's working with the critics as well, praising both the cast and the noir-esque vibe of the film. It has an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average rating in the high 7 out of 10s. I mean, for a superhero movie, that is really good. That is...
Especially for DC.
Especially for DC. Their movies are notoriously hit or miss. This looks like it's going to be a hit, though.
Again, Mike.
The theory stands true.
Again,
I heard nothing about this film.
DC did not have a major influence on this. They just, they were just letting this project develop.
Right.
I forget the director now off the top of my head. Reeves? I forget.
Let me see if it's Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves, thank you. They just let him do his thing.
Yeah.
So you're right. Anytime DC just lets that happen.
If you see a huge push from DC, or if you sense any sort of corporate interest in it, stay away. It's going to be bad. If you barely hear anything about it, it's probably going to be decent.
The rules of the DC universe, it's crazy. I can't explain it.
Yeah. So go check out the Batman opening in theaters this week. It's proving to be pretty good so far. So it should be a fun film to watch here in the late days of winter, early days of spring. But if you want to stay in, go check out, I can't even believe it. If you can't get enough Tiger King on TV, you can watch Joe versus Carol, which is premiering on Peacock this week.
Woo!
So this is a drama based not on the Netflix show, but on a podcast about the criminal case against Joe Exotic. I still think it's a weird choice. I think all these shows are 2 years too late. I feel like that was a flash in the pan, and now they're just trying to it reeks of kind of trying to, cash in on something that's already old news.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, you're right. It is 2 years old.
It's 2 years old. This show should have come out 18 months ago.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know if you're still interested. Go check out Joe versus Carol. That's premiering Thursday, March 3rd on Peacock. And finally and quickly, in video games, a new month equals new free games for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold subscribers. So make sure you go and download your free games this month if you have one of those subscription services. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mikey, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. All right, there's big news coming from the Marvel Universe.
Yeah. Real quick before we get into it, just general, I just want to give again, we're going to be potentially having Spider-Man spoilers, in case anyone still hasn't seen it yet.
Okay, so this is spoiler territory then?
Yes, a little bit.
It's a spoiler! Ooh, it's a spoiler! Don't listen! Go away!
I feel like,
Thank you for giving me the right to play that again.
Yeah, I know you just love to play the clip. I feel like in the coming weeks, if there's more Multiverse of Madness rumors coming out, I feel like we can drop the spoiler thing because...
No, we're going to keep playing that.
Well, because Marvel's acknowledged what the big plot twist is in the new Spider-Man movie. They're actively marketing it now. So
if you haven't seen it,
you're
an idiot.
This is your last chance. I don't know what's happening in your life.
Yeah, get to a movie theater.
Get to it now. But anyway, we're going to dive into it. I alluded to it. We have some rumors circulating around Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but we also have, for the first time, some confirmations this week. Sir Patrick Stewart himself confirmed he appeared in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer as Professor X. And this is, we alluded to it. Everybody was talking about it online, but this is it. This is confirmation. The X-Men are in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yep.
At least Professor X is. And that's the X person to start with, right?
Yes. So in some way, shape, or form, maybe it doesn't happen in this movie, but the X-Men will slowly start to bleed into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes. And for people saying, okay, who cares? Aren't the X-Men part of Marvel? So let's talk about the film history of Marvel. So Marvel, the comics, when they got into some financial trouble, they sold off all their film rights to anybody who had any sort of money. And so all of these superheroes ended up with different studios all across the board. In the mid-2000s, Marvel was like, hey, we're going to do an actual film division, and we're going to start collecting some of these heroes back. They got Iron Man, woohoo, at the time, a C-level hero. Fast forward 15 years, became, the massive Avengers hit that we all know and love, using a whole bunch of B and C-list heroes, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. Nobody cares about these people. Guardians of the Galaxy. Who the hell are those? Certain franchises were still not under Marvel's long reach at this point. Most notably, Fox held the rights to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, as well as Deadpool, some pretty big Marvel properties, and Sony held the rights to Spider-Man. As we know, Disney and Marvel made deals with Sony to bring Spider-Man in, and then they outright bought Fox. I think in it's not a secret that they wanted those Marvel properties because X-Men is huge.
Yes.
And I think that was really the big get for them, was not only the adult entertainment, but also the X-Men. And so after that purchase, everyone was wondering, how are they going to bring X-Men into the fold? How can they bring Deadpool into the fold? These are two really big properties that did well for Fox. Enter a huge multiverse storyline. We had it in Spider-Man. We had it in What If, the animated series on Disney+, and we're getting it again in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is the easiest way to open those floodgates and pour everybody in, and we're basically getting confirmation that that's exactly what's going to happen. Phase 4, I think, is going to be bringing in all of those other properties, or at least hinting at and introducing them to get people used to this idea. And it's not just the X-Men. There's a whole bunch of other people rumored to be appearing. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool is rumored to be in the film, either, maybe as an end credit scene. He's rumored to appear in the poster. People are like, looking at a cluster of pixels, and they're like, that's definitely Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, get those pixels out.
I don't know. Ryan Reynolds said he's not, but other people are like, that's literally what other actors have said about other recent movies, i.e. Andrew Garfield about Spider-Man. They're like, he's pulling an Andrew Garfield here.
Yeah.
Right? Lots of people online, you're seeing conflicting reports. People are saying we have insider sources that say that he's definitely in it. Some are saying he's definitely not. So we'll see. Another big rumor, Tom Cruise as Superior Spider-Man. This sounds ridiculous.
Iron Man.
Superior, what did I say? Oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah, you said he's going to be Spider-Man.
I have Spider-Man on the brain. Superior Iron Man.
Tom Cruise really gunning for it.
He's really gunning for it. No, sorry, my bad. Superior Iron Man. This seems weird, but they originally wanted Tom Cruise to be Iron Man, I think, at one point. And he didn't want to be Iron Man because Iron Man wears a mask.
Yep.
Superior Iron Man doesn't wear a mask. Okay, so just think about that for a second. Another big rumor, Tobey Maguire coming back as Spider-Man.
He did it once. Why not come back again?
Literally just did No Way Home.
Yeah,
why
not?
Couldn't he just stay on set? I mean, think about it. Benedict Cumberbatch was in No Way Home. Tobey Maguire was in No Way Home. Who's to say they don't just stay on set a little bit longer and just roll right into Multiverse of Madness?
Yep.
Right? Not too far-fetched. This one's a little far-fetched, though. John Krasinski as Captain America or Mr. Fantastic. One or both or either of those characters, I don't know. That one's a little sketchy to me. But then you finally have, and I find this one interesting, Chris Evans as the Human Torch. Because in the Fox franchises, Chris Evans got his Marvel start appearing as the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four. So it's a great way to keep him involved in the MCU, but to keep Captain America fully retired, and it's a fun little nod to fans. I think
that would be funny.
Chris Evans like, I'm done with Captain America, but not the Human Torch.
I didn't say I was done with the franchise.
So I think there's a lot of fun potential here for fans. And I think, as overly convenient as it is, and that's what it is. It's like blatantly overly convenient. They're just like, it's so obvious. But, you might as well run with it. You might as well use this opportunity to bring in all these franchises and bring it all under one umbrella and to have a lot of fun cameos. And the perfect thing about a movie like Multiverse of Madness, you don't have to flesh out these guys. You can have them be one-offs and then introduce them in smaller bits and pieces later.
Logic,
yeah.
Multi-universe.
Right,
Simple as that.
So, well, you bring up a good point. Simple as that. Rich, you posed a good question before the show. Is this too much for fans?
Right. So everything that we listed here with the celebrities and stuff, that could be cameos, that could be one-offs, that's
right.
fine. But my bigger concern is the actual idea of the X-Men properties colliding with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because, you know, I kind of feel like the whole Infinity War and Endgame, although it was cool to see everybody come together, it was a lot to like deal with and a lot to like manage and keep straight and like where is everybody?
Wasn't for casual. I mean, it was designed for casual fans, but it was like you said, a lot to swallow.
Right. So now you're taking that, and now you're going to add. Now you're going to again double the roster again by bringing in all the X-Men. I mean, it may not. I mean, it may just be Professor X to start off with, but sooner or later, they're going to bring in a handful of people here, a handful of people there.
You're going to want to have Wolverine at least at the very minimum.
So I feel like this is the point. If they are going to do X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this is the point where the fork in the road could hit, where you have all of these people from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and all these people from the X-Men combining together into this one big, massive soup of superheroes, and I feel like either people are going to dig it 100% and they'll memorize where everybody is and they'll love it, or this could be the moment where it gets too big and everything just breaks and everyone's like, I don't know where things are, and why is this guy over on this planet? Why is this guy coming through to this universe?
So I think that's a valid concern. Because anytime you open up the multiverse stories are always tricky because it's like, what is real? What is not real? What is canon? What is not canon? What is part of this timeline? And do the other movies and properties remain canon? Are they in the timeline? Are they in a different timeline? So there's a lot of gray murkiness to wade through. I think it would be a much bigger concern, if they still focused on the same roster as before. But what I think is going to happen, I've read some articles where the producers in charge are saying that Endgame is the final Avengers movie.
Yeah, and they're not going to do another Avengers movie.
So this is an interesting tact here that they're taking. They're saying it's the final Avengers movie because people who know Marvel know that there are multiple superhero teams. So they can say this is the end of the Avengers, and obviously, Iron Man is gone. Captain America is gone. There's really no reason to bring Hulk back. His story's kind of been completed. Black Panther, rest in peace to, I can't remember the actor's name. What's his name? I can't. Oh, now
you're
Chad Boseman. Chadwick Boseman.
Yep.
Rest in peace to him. You know, they're probably going to slowly dwindle down that storyline. Vision gone for all intents and purposes right now. So you see a whittling down of the cast from the Avengers, and in their place you have quote-unquote new Avengers or some other superhero team where you see, and again, another recent interview, they said that Doctor Strange is now the new sort of focal point of this new team. So you see a pivot from Iron Man and Captain America to Doctor Strange and Professor X, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man. You know, they're starting another Spider-Man trilogy, maybe not. So I could see them pivoting from one, superhero team up to another superhero team up. So I think as long as they dwindle down the cast, you also have people who are strictly television heroes now. Like, I feel like they might push Bucky Barnes into TV and Captain Falcon or whatever his name is.
Yes.
Or new Captain America. I never watched it.
Captain
Falcon. I don't know what his actual name is. I didn't watch it. Maybe Captain Falcon and Bucky Barnes will, just stay in the TV side of things. So I feel like there's a way to do it. People have already displayed a willingness to keep up with it. They introduced teams within teams. They introduced Guardians of the Galaxy already. So we had to follow a team within a team. And people sort of are like, all right, we can buy into it. As long as they separate, they make it two distinct eras, the Avengers era and the multiverse era.
Yeah, whatever we're going to call this one. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like, I can't think of another example.
Do you think maybe like Star Wars where you had
I was just thinking about like maybe like
prequel,
yeah.
You had the prequel era, the original trilogy era, the sequel trilogy era.
Yeah, exactly. There's distinct eras. Like you have Avengers, and then you have something else. You can allude to the Avengers, but I think there should be a break. And I think we're starting to see the multiverse in well, No Way Home and now Multiverse of Madness, where hopefully they're going to focus on new, more personal stories, building up to something larger, whether it's Kang the Conqueror or something else. You're going to see it build up to something new, and we're going to, hopefully move away from those older storylines. But your concerns are valid, because now the big question is that I've already gotten from some of my cousins, do I need to watch the X-Men movies? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because now it's the thing, like, you could watch No Way Home without watching the other Spider-Man movies, but now it's like you're introducing an entire team. Do I have to go back and watch them? That remains to be seen. How are they going to be? You could just introduce variants of the X-Men, because now variants are a thing.
Right.
This is Wolverine, but played by someone who's not Hugh Jackman. And, you can conveniently say, that's a different one.
Yep.
Again, like Star Wars, you're retconning the entire other storylines, and you're moving forward with your own. It is a lot.
Yes, there's a lot
It's a lot.
A lot of decisions to maintain, and yeah, it could be dicey territory, but it could also work out beautifully. It's
if they handle it with
the ceiling is low, but the floor is low, but the ceiling is also high.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
But I'm going to be at every single one.
Yep, and you can also confirm it that Sir Patrick Stewart said that was him in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer.
The floodgates are open, folks.
Yeah, what other entity will come through?
I am so excited for Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I wonder who's all going to be in that. So we'll find out when that releases later. Was it later this year?
That's a great question.
Because I think it's relatively soon.
I think it's within the next couple of months. I'm just looking it up now. It is May 6th. We're going to go see it.
Oh, my God.
We're going to go see it and review it.
Oh, my God. I'm just going to be coming back from
you're going to be coming. Oh, I'm going to be.
Gosh.
I'm going to be in another country.
And you're going to be in another country. Oh, my God. Are we even going to do a podcast? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I don't know. We gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
There's so many things happening.
I'm going to see it in London.
Okay, there you go.
But anyway, so
Yes.
May 6th, go check it out, guys. It's going to be big.
Yep. Speaking of things that are big, one thing you can always count on the Crispy Noodle podcast being big and outrageous is the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda basata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news. He reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing the story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to in the odd news?
All right, we're going back home to Florida.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
It's like a well-worn glove.
Yep, it's always good coming back to Florida. In this one, we are going to St. Pete Beach.
St. Pete?
Yeah.
Not like St. Peter's or St. Petersburg.
Unless the news article has this wrong. St. Pete Beach.
I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like a lame name.
It does sound like a lame name,
Like,
right?
St. Peter's Beach sounds formal. St. Pete, I don't know. That's like, Pete, that bastard. I don't know.
So St. Pete Beach is on the Gulf side of Florida. It's by Tampa.
Okay. Well,
So,
change the name of it immediately.
I'm gonna contact Florida and suggest that they change that.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds stupid.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them to get on that.
St. Peter, that has legacy, like Catholicism.
Right. Even St.
the
Peter, like if it was
Vatican.
like St. Petersburg, it sounds kind of like fancy, but just
Yeah.
like St. Pete.
St. Pete.
It's like I don't know if there was like a Saint
who the hell's that guy?
like a Saint Bob
Yeah.
or Saint Joe. Like it just like there's
Saint Jimmy Jim.
Saint Jimmy Jim. Yeah,
He's the patron saint of rubber bands.
I will. Rubber bands.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. Whenever you need a rubber band, pray to Saint Jimmy Jim.
I will say this. It looks quite nice. I'm looking at pictures online. I mean, beautiful.
No, you're giving St. Pete's St. Pete.
I mean, beautiful.
St. Pete Beach is too much credit. No,
Beautiful.
Change the name.
Beautiful spot.
It's lackluster.
It's got one road.
It's got one road. Yeah, exactly. That sounds like St. Pete Beach.
Okay. So what happened in St. Pete Beach?
All right. We're going to follow the case of 49-year-old Kelly Elkins. She was having a hell of a Friday night. It's the weekend. Makes sense.
The weekend, yeah.
She entered the beach lounge at 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So I think her night was still continuing, but usually at that point, bars are starting to wrap up and are starting to,
When was this?
2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And she's entering this bar.
That's a little late.
Yeah.
That's a little late.
She asked for a drink, but of course she was stumbling. So the bartender said that she was intoxicated to the point where they decided to refuse to give her service.
And I think that was a smart decision.
Yeah, that's usually what you should do.
Yeah.
Somebody's already drunk enough. Yeah, you don't want to give them more.
Yeah.
Instead of departing and accepting her losses, Elkins decided to walk into the women's restroom and then come out completely naked.
Take your damn clothes off.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a pretty good strategy.
Yeah, why not?
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Just,
things didn't go your way, so you just take your clothes off.
Yep, you won't give me a drink? Well, I'm going to take my clothes off.
There you go.
Rational behavior.
Right. Totally not drunk.
There you go. When the bar staff's manager and team asked her to get dressed, she said, no, absolutely not. Cops were...
Absolutely not.
Yep. Nope. I'm not doing that. Nope. Cops were then called to the scene. Upon arriving at the bar, a county sheriff noted that Elkins was still naked and, quote, running around the bar.
Awesome.
So now she's doing laps.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there you go.
They should have just served her.
Get a little exercise in while you're at it.
Yeah, might as well.
Little 2 in the morning.
Who doesn't like to
exercise
go
run.
for a casual 2 a.m. run inside
run.
of a bar?
Naked run inside of a
Naked
bar.
run inside of a bar.
Take your damn clothes off.
Yep. At that point, the sheriff then held her, and they tried to get her some clothes. At that point, she would only put on a hoodie.
Okay. I mean, it's something, I guess.
I guess, but she refused to zip it up, and she also refused to put on any sort of panties or pants, saying that I am, quote, too tired to lift my legs
Oh, my God.
to put them on.
Take your damn clothes off.
Yes, I just came from an exhilarating run around the
Yeah,
bar.
right.
I cannot be forced to put pants on at a time like this.
I'm very tired after taking my 2 a.m. jog.
I pulled a hammy running around the bar. I can't lift my knees
My
up.
muscles are sore. You expect me to lift it all the way up here to put on clothes? I think not.
Yeah, how dare you? I can't do this.
Absolutely not.
This is too much exercise.
How dare you?
I could re-injure my hamstring. How dare you?
That's right.
You're actually causing me to be at risk.
Yeah.
So you go away.
Yeah. Get out of here with your clothes.
Yeah. When the sheriff started investigating her pocketbook, that's when they found out she was actually a lawyer in the area.
Oh.
So,
whoops.
Interesting. This is going to be an interesting thing to explain.
Yeah, you got to call your clients and be like, so, I'm still going to be in court, but just not representing you.
I had a rough Friday night. Yep.
We'll run into each other. We'll chat.
Yeah. I'll see you in jail.
I'll see you in jail. Yeah. She ends up in the cell next to her clients.
Yeah. Yes, several bar patrons were still there and were contacted as eyewitnesses.
Okay.
Elkins was charged with disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
Booked into the county jail. She provided her own bond. But she says she's going to fight the charge.
Well, she's a lawyer.
And she's going to plead not guilty.
Of course. This is the one case where I think the Odd News perp actually stands a chance because she's actually a lawyer herself. Like, she's going to defend herself, and I mean, she doesn't have much to stand on, but she's going to try. And she's more qualified than anybody else in the Odd News.
Look, it's one thing when you only have the cop versus the person who, is the perpetrator.
This is the entire bar.
You have the entire bar that was there at closing.
Yeah, I want to know what her defense is. She's going to say not guilty. Like, what?
I needed to work out naked.
Need to work out. I want to see her get up and be like, not guilty by reason of insanity. And they're like, so you're going to represent yourself and you're insane? Yes, Your Honor.
So should we take away so you shouldn't be a lawyer then?
So we should assign you counsel, right?
Yeah.
No, Your Honor. I'm perfectly capable of representing myself, but you just pled insanity. Yes, I know what I said, Your Honor. And they just go around and around in circles for hours.
Yeah.
And everybody gets so tired, they fall asleep in the courtroom.
And she does naked laps around them.
Well, I was going to say she leaves, she flees, but I mean that too.
No, she gets drunk and she does naked laps around the bench.
Yeah, she shows up to court drunk. Not guilty.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So if she actually does go through with that, I would like a first class ticket. I want to see this.
Yeah.
Because they literally have the entire bar patrons there that saw this.
Right.
They're going to bring at least 1 or 2 or 3 of them in.
But, like, there's really... I mean, yeah, it's pretty cut and dry. She was running around the bar naked. Like, there's no really ifs, ands, or buts about it. Well, there was some buts, but...
Like, I guess, like, with some of these, I love pointing out these not guilty stories. Some of them is, like, if it's just the police versus the perpetrator,
yeah,
I can get that. Like,
right.
Maybe you can argue that...
Right, he said, she said.
Right, that things didn't work out. But this literally, you have the entire... patrons right there that saw you do what you did.
Sounds like she was doing it for a while as well.
Yeah, this isn't like an incidental thing either.
This isn't like, whoops, my pants fell off. This was like she took her clothes off and then ran around the bar.
Yeah. We're going streaking. Woo!
It's kind of hard to miss that one.
Yeah. This is something you would remember at the end of the night.
Right. Maybe she'll argue that everybody in the bar at 2 a.m. was too drunk. They don't know what they saw.
Oh, everybody's drunk. Everybody.
Not guilty by reason of drunkenness.
Every single person that was there.
Including herself.
Drunk.
She's like, Your Honor, I was drunk. They were drunk.
The bartenders were drunk.
The bartenders were drunk. The cops were drunk. Who's to say
the manager was drunk?
What really happened?
There is
She could try. She could try.
There is a lot of eyewitnesses here. I don't
know. Was
the
bar packed? How many patrons were there? Are we talking like 1 or 2, or are there like 10?
I'd say like a handful, I guess, according to the police report. It didn't say like a specific.
So you're assuming like anywhere from like 4 to 6.
Yeah,
so
something like that.
So like,
So even like 2 or 3 is enough to kind of,
2 or 3 plus
knock you out.
Plus the cop account, yeah. Plus
Yeah.
the owner, or not the owner, but whoever's
the manager,
working.
yeah, the
working
manager
that
was
night,
there. Yeah, I think that's a lot of evidence you're gonna have to.
She's gonna say they were drunk.
All of them.
All of them.
Wow. Good luck.
That's right.
I want to be there in this courtroom to see her argue this.
Yeah, I want to know what she's gonna try and do.
Yeah.
Like I said, it seems pretty cut and dry. You were naked.
You were naked. You were running around.
Yeah.
The manager saw it. The cops saw it. The bar patron saw it.
It is what it is at that point.
Yeah. Good luck.
There's only so many ways you can twist that.
Yeah.
She could be like, I don't know, like I was in the bathroom, my clothes got wet, so I came out, and I was like, oh no, my clothes are destroyed.
And then I checked my Apple Watch, and it said I forgot to do my gym exercise.
That's right. She didn't close all of her rings, so she had to go and do a couple of laps, burn those calories, get those steps in. You know, you gotta close the rings every day.
And in the course of that, then the cop showed up, and I got scared and tired, and I couldn't put my pants back on.
I mean, it checks out. I think she's innocent.
So, I don't know. I want to see how she's going to, this lawyer, quote unquote, I want to see how she gets out of this. Cause
man, that's
I want to see her defense. I want to hear how she's going to try and
I really want to know what her reasoning is going to be.
Yeah, if she goes through with it. I mean, you know, she said she's going to plead not guilty, but, you know.
Yeah, she's
hopefully she'll sober up eventually.
Eventually, yeah,
and realize that this is a very tall ask here.
Yeah.
So good luck with that. But there you go. That's what I have for you this week in the non-fortune cookie odd news. Oh boy! And with that, it is time to start wrapping this episode up. Oh my God! Officially, this is the official end. Everyone,
okay, not in the middle of sports.
Yes. Not due to the pathetic cake. Nope.
That sad, pathetic cake.
Yeah. Boy, this has been a very memorable episode. You learned about Orson Welles. You learned about the saddest cake ever in the world.
Yeah.
And you learned about this brave Florida lawyer who's going to fight the system.
You learn lots of stuff on the Crispy Noodle podcast.
That's right. And if you want to learn more, check out our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you listen to past episodes. Make sure you follow us on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Share the show. Let people know that, you know, you heard this crazy podcast and you learn about sad cakes and weird Florida lawyers.
Sad cakes is the best thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want to see the sad cake, you got to subscribe to the channel on YouTube where you get the video version of the podcast. That's the only place you can see the sad cake. It's one thing to hear it, but you got to see it. But if you just want to hear the sad cake, then you can subscribe to the Crispy Noodle podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Amazon devices. So make sure you search for, download, and subscribe to the Crispy Noodle podcast on either the YouTube channel or the podcast service of your choice.
That's right. Also, I want to point out something on our YouTube feed. If you do check that out, I don't know if you saw this on the YouTube feed. They actually have our show now listed in like chapters.
Oh.
So if maybe you're not interested in sports, or maybe you just don't want to hear baseball for a little bit,
you just skip ahead.
You can skip. There's functions that you can jump to a specific part of the show.
I promise we won't take offense to it because we're not there with you.
We won't know.
We won't know. You can skip ahead.
Yeah. So if you're a big fan of the odd news, you just want to jump right to the odd news every week, you can do that.
Oh, but you're missing out on sad cakes. People.
Yeah, no, that's why I do think you got to listen to the whole show.
I
for
think
the sad
so too.
Cakes. But just a little option there. If you want to find us on Twitter, I'm at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig.
And I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo. Send us your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, and we'll give you a shout out on the podcast.
That's right. But for right now, we got to wrap this up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine people.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.